All aboard the Ho train. Welcome back, guys, to Foggy Wrestling. And it is 20 to 4 here, UK time. Recently, just finished that big stream, 2 hours, 25 minutes, talking about AEW Dynamite. Oh, hell yeah. Spring break through. Wrestling might be as dead as a dodo in 2025. Triple H may be absolutely butchering WrestleMania season, but Tony Khan, there was a glimmer of hope tonight as we got the best segment of the year. Yes, the best segment of the year. Now, admittedly, the bar's very low, folks. Didn't really take an awful lot, but I tell you what, if you were there during the watch along, and if you actually watched this segment yourself and you're, a normal human being, brother, you would have enjoyed this shit. Alright? Hot women in the ring, deal on the table for MJF, sweetening the deal to try and join the Hurt Syndicate. Hot women across the board. Great. That is all I've got to say for right here, right now. Honestly, it was just an entertaining segment with MJF and MVP, Shelton Benjamin and Bobby Lashley and hot women. And hot women. And hot women. There was like 7, 8 of them. It was great. Alright? Honestly, not this PG fucking shite that we see across the board now. WWE would not have the balls to do this. They prefer Rhea Ripley pinning men in a dominant position to this. You know what I mean? That's the fucking reality here. This was good. This was great. It was entertaining. It was funny. It was hot. It was everything. And we'll get to it later on. But of course, there's the rest of the show to get into, folks, isn't there? And it's the 16th of April 2024. Spring Breakthrough Review. Right, so let's go. Live from the MGM Music Hall in Fenway, Boston, Massachusetts. I wish we were getting John. Where's he from? Boston, Westbury, Massachusetts. I think John's from, isn't it? Anyway, regardless, big match. John's no here tonight, but we do have Tony Schiavone and Excalibur on commentary, and apparently Hook is in the hospital. He's not cleared to compete. He's been thrown up. So the main event will be a handicap match. Let's get down to business. Right. First match, Mercedes Moné versus Athena. This match is fine. It's a fine women's match. My problem with it is it goes 25 minutes, half an hour, whatever, right? And I just don't think this should be going half an hour, you know what I mean? I've tuned in to watch a wrestling show, and people are like, well, but they give you half an hour of wrestling. Where's the stories, man? Where's the segments? This just felt so fucking flat. It did to a degree, like, because it's like, no matter how good this match could be, no matter how excited you could be at the prospect of these two getting around in the ring, you just know that Mercedes Moné, right, ain't losing. And that's exactly what happened. She wins. Now it's a roll-up, and it's not like Athena's, like, buried into oblivion, but it's an Owen Hart Foundation tournament. It really ain't that deep at the end of the day. Why can't Athena just defeat Mercedes Moné? Because she's got the shovel, brother. Anyway, she wins. We move on. But it was a decent match, but it was far too long and far too predictable and far too boring in that regard, man. Just not doing anything exciting. We then cut backstage. We've got Renee there with Hangman Adam Page. He got about 3 words in, then the Young Bucks and Okada appeared out of nowhere. They said the Hangman looked good. Okada said, "You should smile more, biatch." The Bucks were like, "We want you to win the title, Hangman," in their wee squeaky voice. Tuka Rask then appears with the Stanley Cup. I've never heard of this guy. During the watch along, I was kind of like dumbfounded about this whole Stanley Cup situation, but anyway, the less you know, the more you know. Say what you want. Tuka Rask, Stanley Cup. Seems like a pretty big deal, damn it. 2011 Stanley Cup winner, bear in mind. It's not like you won it recently. I mean, 14 years ago. Match 2. Hangman Page versus the wild card. And it's the walking weapon, Josh Alexander. Kind of out of nowhere. again, I think it just like see Josh Alexander, right? I'm not going to just completely and utterly. I'm not going to completely and utterly just bury the guy, but this is a problem with just modern wrestling. See, back in the day, and I know, guys, back in the day, I'm sure we're all sick of hearing it. It's our favourite fucking term, but see, back in the day when you were promised like a mystery opponent or guest or a return or something like that, it was always good. Like Josh Alexander, what we doing here? Honestly, folks, Josh Alexander. Anyway, Hangman Page wins. I just think it's the correct way to book Josh Alexander, is it? Again, this match was alright. Again, it was fresh seeing Josh Alexander for TNA on an AEW television screen, you could say, but I just don't understand Josh Alexander picking up the victory. I really, really don't. Not picking up the victory. I understand Hangman Page is getting booked strong and pushed, but I just think Josh Alexander should be losing his first match, even if he did look strong in defeat. Cal Fletcher and Don Callis come out, and then it turns out Don Callis has made a deal with Josh Alexander as they beat up the big man. Hangman and Page, baby. He's beat Brain Buster. Good night, Brain Buster. Yeah. Patriarchy. And then backstage, your dad's gone. I step up. Daddy's home. You know the score. Wayne, how about you speak up? Christian's like, I'm going to send you to New Japan Pro Wrestling's Best of the Super Juniors tournament, which I thought was pretty funny. So, I look back at Collision when FTR almost killed Tony Schiavone. Tony Schiavone was on commentary. They near killed him. What the fuck happened? Did I miss something on Collision? I didn't even watch it, to be honest, but I mean, what? They nearly killed him. Seems a wee bit of a stretch to me, doesn't it? Then we have, right, so the Hurt Syndicate taking on the Gates of Agony. This match lasted about 5 minutes. It was fine. The Gates of Agony got a bit of offense in, but Bobby and Lashley dominate, and that's what should be happening. And then MJF comes out. He's like, you know what? I know MVP, you're going to vote my way, but it's got to be unanimous. And I need to work on getting Big Bobby and Shelton over. So what he does, well, out come some women. And it's like the Godfather, man. It really is. Funky's on a roll. Somebody call my mama. Even though that's Brodus Clay. But this was some good shit, man. MJF bringing out some hot women. And we're not talking about, here, we have to pretend these women are hot. This was like Bailey level of attractiveness, or Rhea Ripley with her tattoos and her shitey makeup, or Charlotte Flair, or whatever, man. Or, Zoe Stark or Shayna Baszler. Right? These were genuinely hot women. And I'm not saying every single one of them was a 10 out of 10, but they were great women, man. Some were absolute stunners. Some were the 10 out of 10ers. Some were like 8 out of 10. But there's nothing wrong with an 8 out of 10. You know what I mean? 8 out of 10 is pretty fucking great. And MJF bargains him. Bobby's looking around. He's not too impressed. Well, he's impressed with the women, but he's not impressed with MJF. Shelton Benjamin wants the women, but he also wants the watch that MJF's got. MJF gives him the watch, but then like Shelton still votes against him. But Shelton voting against him is irrelevant because MJF pointed out that it needs to be unanimous. But they take the women. We then saw MVP and the Hurt Syndicate and except all backstage pretty much like discussing what they're going to do next. And they're like, you know what? We need to get MJF in, but if he makes one fuck up, we'll kick him out. Anyway, time to go with the women. Just a really fun, refreshing segment in 2025, guys. Segment of the year. This is the most entertained I've been, man. And it might just be as simple as having hot women being used as a bargaining chip for MJF to join the Hurt Syndicate. But you know what? The best thing we've seen in months. Honestly, I can't even remember the last thing that was as good as this. And I'm not saying it was the greatest thing ever, but yeah, compared to recent weeks, it is the best thing. And I'll stand by that. I will absolutely stand by it. Right. We then had our fourth match, Will Ospreay versus Taker Takeshita. I hate this style of wrestling. No selling, kickouts at one, flippy dippy, fucking shite. I can't stand it. Right? I really, really can't stand it. I'm not going to sit here and pretend this was anything good. If you like this style of wrestling, folks, right, then you probably fucking loved it. But for me, the big Stevester, I'm not a fan of it, and I'll never be a fan of it. So we'll just move on, right? It's crap. I don't like it. It's like, how the fly in hell do you go feel like the Godfather coming back pretty much to this? It's tragic, man. Tragic state of affairs. Tragic, tragic, tragic. But like I say, Will Ospreay wins. Brilliant. Brilliant, Will Ospreay. Brilliant. Will Ospreay wins. Yeah. Time for a main event, though. After the match, Powerhouse Hobbs replaces Hook. This match is a bit shit, if we're being honest. But the main thing is that the Death Riders won due to interference for Swerve Strickland. I cannot fucking stand Prince Nana, but I don't mind Swerve Strickland. Joe chokes out Moxley, and we've got new trio champions, guys. And that is what I like to see, because the Death Riders are fucking brutal. Moxley should really get stripped of this world title. We should lose it soon. Moxley leaves the crowd with the Death Riders. He leaves the arena as the show goes off the air, with everybody for Dynamite celebrating this victory here for the trios, the new trio champions, the Ops. So, you know what? Decent ending to the show. By God. AEW. Dynamite. I will give this show... You know what? It was very match heavy. There was nowhere near enough segments. I'm going to give it a 3 out of 10. Easily the best show in weeks, man. Easily. Months. You name it. 3 out of 10. That was the best segment of the year. Hot women. Sign me up for more.